For this Motivation Monday, we're back out in the shop. If you were with us last week, you know we're out here and I was talking about how messy the shop had gotten. Hopefully you see some improvement. I've worked hard out here this week to get things organized again after really years of neglect. Last week we talked about how God can turn our messes, not these physical messes, but the messes that we make of our lives, how God can take those messes and turn them into His message of hope, salvation, and love. I'd like to follow up with that set of lessons with 3 more thoughts now that the shop is clean and some encouragement for you to accomplish your goals too. Number 1, you have to follow through. Right? I could have shot that video last week. I could have posted it up and moved on with life and not actually cleaned up the shop, but it's something that I committed to do. I told my wife I was going to do it. I wanted to do it for myself to make life easier, and here we are. And so in those much more important things, those spiritual things we're trying to clean up, when we're trying to get right with God, things that have eternal consequences, we're trying to fix the problems in relationships, we're trying to fix the problems in our families, we have to follow through on those things. 2 Corinthians 4 is a great place for you to look for some encouragement on that. Specifically starting about verse 16 would be great encouragement to you. Not to focus so much on the physical things, but on the spiritual things that are eternal and make a huge difference. The second thing that I'd like for you to consider with me today is contentment. I really like the shop, and I really appreciate the opportunity I've had to put together tools that I can use to help our family and to help others. I recognize there's other folks out there who have much more impressive shops and skills, and that's great. I really like what I have. So let's apply that spiritually. We need to be spiritually content, right? God has given each one of us gifts that we can use in His service. We're told that each one of us, as a member of the church, have a part that we play. And so we need to be content in recognizing, you know what? God gave me this opportunity. I need to make the most of it instead of reaching for all these other things that maybe isn't a gift that God has given us that we're capable of. Contentment is important. And then finally, number 3, what I want you to think about is the idea of continuous improvement. Just as I'm constantly trying to get this squared away and improved and things fixed and repaired, in our spiritual lives, it's going to require continuous improvement as well. We look for that example in Scripture. I think Paul, who authored that letter that we call 2 Corinthians, that we referenced earlier, he's a great example. Of course, when he was called Saul, he was an enemy of God. Had that miraculous intervention, we'll call it, with God. Not something you and I are going to have. We're going to have it through the Word. And then went on as Paul to be a prolific proclaimer of the Word, constantly improving, studying, and growing. What I want us to specifically think about with Paul is the idea that he didn't have an angel that came and told him every other day what it was that he was supposed to be doing. He constantly looked for those opportunities to spread the word. There was a desire within him to accomplish that goal, and he continuously improved in the things that he could do to proclaim the gospel. I fully believe that God turned his mess into God's message. He can do the same for each one of us. I hope this has been encouraging to you. I hope that you'll follow through, take a look at contentment, and seek to continuously improve, and all for the glory of God. Have a great Monday.